Hi guys, what is up? Oh my god, I literally cannot believe that I have not done a YouTube video in well over how many months? Oh well, it's been over 4 months, I think. So I have missed you guys. I've missed YouTube. I've missed being back. I'm back. Thank you. So rolling the suggestions for topics. As you can see, the things are going to be changing on this channel slightly, not too much. We're still going to maintain the personality, my entire personality that is dependent on my nose ring. Obviously, that is the one that is carrying this channel, so we're going to have to keep it. All jokes aside, I've missed you guys and I'm glad to be back. I'm going to be talking about my moving back home. So I got married for a year plus, and then I moved back home for a lot of months, and it has been a very tumultuous process. All of it has just been so I'm going to break it down for you in this video, so please stick around and see how that turns out. I'm going to divide this video into segments. The first segment is talking about why I traveled. The reason I traveled was because my dad got sick and I packed for 1 week. In my head I was just thinking it wasn't going to be very, very long, but as the Lord will have it, it was. Packing a little suitcase for like 1 week to travel just turned into 4+ months actually, and I did not come back home for that entire time when I was in my family's house, and this was a lot of undertaking. I mean, as a first child, yeah, so you're supposed to carry everything with stride, the best in everything, best in calm-headedness, best in figuring things out, but see, this moving back home really took me out of it. Like the nostalgia that I felt even driving through roads that I used to know before, because I grew up in Sokoto, northern part of Nigeria. So just driving down the roads and the nostalgia of like just being lost in a thought process, like going back home to a town that you haven't been living in for a while and then living in that town for some months, right? So that was what happened. And even before I was married, I wasn't living at home, I was living by myself. So there was still that I haven't been living at home for a very long time. So it was really taking me aback. But like that wasn't enough, there was now my dad's sickness, so you're plunged into this new reality. Your dad is sick on the side, so you are also like figuring things out, and this is the lessons that I have learned. It's not going to be really a lesson, but these are just from some key parts if you ever find yourself in a situation where you're thrown down into uncertainty. Basically, I'll first start with the nostalgia route. Everything that is from the past, it will come. I mean, this is a town that I started my first business, many businesses, but the one that I like, my first physical business, which was a cafe. I closed it down, sold everything, and moved to another state completely. It was a town that at some point was unkind to me. It was a town that at some point was very loving to me. It was a town that I grew up in. So it's many things in one, and I was literally trying to tell myself every single time, breathe, you're going to get through this. You're going to get through this. That did not work very much, so I started to paint. I painted my emotions, like, and distanced myself from the world. There was like, even in my painting, there were some that haven't really translated into paintings, just sketchbooks, but I'll stay up at night just painting and just trying to process things as they're happening to me. On the other hand, is my dad really been terribly sick. This is somebody that has never been sick before, that he's so strong. And even if he has malaria, this is somebody that is able to like do things and just carry along, right? So this is somebody that is basically a very, very strong person. But at this particular time, you have to be strong as a first daughter because he is not. So you are trying to carry your entire family through this. And also, you know, you feel this is my dad, you know, asking you questions, that things that he would normally just take care of, like asking you questions about X, Y, and Z. I literally became my somewhat a miniature of my dad, if you will. I was doing all of the things that he would normally just take care of in the split second, and he's always been a wonderful father, and just seeing him like that really affected me and affected my entire family. But I'm only going to be speaking for me right now. At first it was a lot of adrenaline rush in that I was not caring what was going on about the nostalgia of my whatever. I was just focused, just going to the hospital with my dad, just like figuring things out, trying to figure out the finances, trying to figure out his health, trying to figure out the second opinions, third opinions, trying to sort out trying to not run mad, and then going to my bathroom and literally falling apart and crying and crying and crying and crying and crying and crying over and over again. Wake up in the morning, repeat the process. But then it came to a time where nostalgia was also passing through me. Things are settling down, and the pain of my dad going through all of these things is really, really seeping in and taking somewhat of a hold on me, if you will. And that I'm not sure I've dealt with. Number 2, just don't go back. Don't go back and leave. Don't move back in with your parents. Don't do it because of the nostalgia, not because my parents are actually amazing. I mean, I would there are some times that I just wish like I just live with them. I live with them, like they're in the same space, because I also want my partner there, but I also want them there. I love them, just not in my hometown. So whatever you do, don't move back to your hometown. Move in with your parents, absolutely, but don't move to your hometown, because you have a lot of experience. And with me, I mean, I did IUM movement. I was an activist at one point. I have done rallies, I have done many things. So it has been a community that has sent some of my team members to jail. It has been a community that has sometimes been quite literally aggressive towards me just because of who I am and what I present myself to be, and the failures. Let me talk about my mustard cafe. I don't think I've ever talked about deeply how that affected me. I started a cafe, or not moved really. I was coming to Abuja here to like do some work and then traveling back home. But my manager then for the cafe like really fucked everything up for me, in that he wouldn't just even take any customer's order or whatever, and I like, he's been doing very good. That's why I left him in charge, really. And when I came back, the business was a shit show. The business went down, and it was a decision. I was actually literally talking to Khadija, one of my friends that I'm sure you've seen on this channel. If not, I'll link one of my conversations up here. I was literally having a conversation with her, and she was like, "This does not make you happy. What do you want to do?" Because I've been battling with the idea of either to let it go or to just try to resurrect it. But I wasn't even happy staying in the town, and that was why I just decided I'm going to sell everything that is in it and just move on. And that's what I did. But to me, it felt like a failure. I learned something from it, but it felt like a failure still. So all of those just came back. I would pass through and things change as well, as long as they stay the same. I would pass through my cafe. I would see some form of, it's not even my cafe anymore, number one. It's definitely not my cafe but anymore, but it's like a laundromat now. It's different. The things that you used to know are not there. The people that I used to know have either moved on to another place, or they have moved on generally, if you will. The only solace that you have is your mom's chicken soup, because she makes it for you every day, and then there's a lot of people to make you word of flour, so you feel very comforted as you are going through this chaotic awakening. And then I think that really helped. So you want to have really good food. All the food that you miss, you definitely should have it. And if you have like an amazing parent like mine, I'm happy for you, because they'll make you whatever you want forever. If my parents weren't my parents, I think that time that I went back to just be with my family and take care of my family, I would have gone insane. What I mean by that is that if they weren't who they are, as loving and as supportive and as like ultimately insanely beautiful people inside out, I think I would have gone mad. Because even when my dad was sick, he was still trying to make, he was trying to, make me feel better, trying to like just, we're always talking about conversations that we'd normally have, things that we'd talk about, books, we talk about life, we talk about, so like those dinners, those sitting around conversations that I'm always, if I didn't have that time of always talking to my parents, I was always talking to my parents. I remember there was time that the light went out, and my dad recommended that, because I was painting and the light went out and all of that, he recommended that I get candles. Like he obviously couldn't even walk or do anything, but he said I should just come to the room, and he had this bright light put on and then candles around it, and I was painting. As my uncle was also there, my mom, we were just having, it was like a whole family was there. I was painting and we were still having conversations so that I can be involved, and I don't know, that was really, really loving. Like just realizing that everybody loves differently. The act of service, everybody's love language is different, even for a parent. And that is amazing. And not having my partner there was really, really, really sucked. I mean, he had to work, and he went, he traveled twice or three times to go and see me, I'm not quite sure. But we're always on the phone, like, and sometimes we do video calls, like it would be like we're all together having dinner with everybody in the family and just chatting about, and he'd be involved as well. But imagine living with your partner for this long, for a very long time, and then not seeing them for a very, very long, like months would go. All you have is video call. So which, if you want to listen to me talk about that, I actually have a video that I want to film. So please do comment on the comment section if you want to see that. I want to film the long distance, how it affected I and my partner's relationship, and just let me know. Comment in the comment section. I'll definitely film that. So thank you. Anyway, that's that. So you want to have what? Let's recap. Mental health services, or somebody that you talk to. Try your best to understand that your parents' love languages. Try your best to know that you need to be breathing every single time. You need to remind yourself to be breathing. It's okay, no problem. You can just remind yourself to breathe. I was very unproductive. Sometimes I feel suffocating, and a lot of the times I felt like I would go to the room and break down. That's it, because I didn't want to break down in front of my dad. He's already carried so much burden. He's already carried so much, and he's already carrying so much, and I didn't want to have to put him through that. The goal was just to figure it out. And moving back home after any form of whatever it's, sometimes I'm sure with your situation, it might not be a sick loved one. It might not be anything. It might be a breakup. It might be trying to, maybe you got broke and you wanted to move back home. It could be anything, but that rush of nostalgia is something that will seep through you slowly, and then you begin to see things that have, that saying of like everything changes yet everything stays the same. So those feelings are still feelings of unfamiliarity yet familiar. So it's like your brain is trying to process everything at once, and you would not know all of this as you are going through all of that. So that is why I'm telling you, just so that maybe you can have, because I wish somebody had told me. I wish there was some form of a video. I think this is why I'm making this video, really, of how you'd feel when you move back home, but then you are encapsulated inside even your living space, because you're going to be there. Like, this was a room that you used to know. Everything is something that you used to know. It's very familiar, and thankfully my family kept everything the same for me. Even my room is still literally the same for me, but this room holds so much things, so much memories. I literally started to get traction in that particular room when I was making those videos in my bedroom. Yet again, home, it is a place that I'm living for in the meantime. You get? So it felt to me that I was put in a time machine in my room, because in my room I've achieved so much. Started a business, opened my cafe, ran it from there. Like, I would drive to work every day to go to my cafe and come back. Started my YouTube channel, literally started getting tractions there. I met my now husband in that room. I remember, like, it was obviously online, like, we'd do a lot of video calls and all of that types of things. So it is literally encapsulating all of those memories. You can see yourself living that life in your room, but that time has passed. You've lived that life, but you're in that room. I felt very aware of the things that I have done before, of everything that I have even tried my best to forget. And I'm saying you remember everything in that it's not just the cool things that you remember. No, you remember the traumatic things. You'd remember your fails, your absolute terrible failures. You'd remember your success. As much as you remember the success, you'd remember the failures even more, because it stings more. So you'd remember all of this. So it would be like a situation where you actually require therapy, right? Well, so imagine that layered upon this already traumatic experience is your dad being sick, and has never been that sick in a sense that he cannot even go downstairs. He can barely sit down to eat, and he doesn't. So you don't know. You literally do not know anything, and you are sat there. All you have is prayers and prayers and prayers, and hoping to God you don't fucking run insane. And that was my experience. And I hope my experience helps you in knowing that you have to be in therapy, or at least if you can't afford therapy, please try and talk to somebody. This is a big mistake that I did. I did not talk to anybody about anything that I was going through. I just felt, I didn't even know it, because I didn't even know the things that I was feeling were something that I shouldn't be feeling, or like I know I should be processing, really, because I will feel them eventually. So there are things that I should just be processing. I didn't at all. And also I didn't deal with anything. I just continued. It's just like, what is the next step? Because this is how, when I'm presented with a problem, my partner will tell you this, when I'm presented with a problem, I'm like, okay, step 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we're achieving this. It doesn't matter how I feel about it. We're achieving 1, we're achieving 2, we're achieving 3. It does not matter. The only time I think I reckon that things matter to me, like my emotions matter to me, and it took me like this whole experience to realize is that the only reason that I factor in my emotions is when it's something that is directly affecting me, like my YouTube channel. If I don't want to do a video, I'll make procrastination towards making the video by saying, oh yeah, I'm feeling this way today, but if it's not any of it, if any of it is not affecting me, just only me, if it even has to do with any other person, I'm like, forget about what is emotions. I don't know them. I'm just thinking about step 1, 2, 3 to fix the problem. And I think my approach to that has been, I don't know if I can even change that life thing that I've already been, but I hope that therapy will help me sort that bit out. But I want to be able to just like have conversations as things are happening without me not even realizing, because I'm not even realizing that I'm bottling things up, because in my head I'm not trying to, it just happens, you know. So I'd recommend you talk to somebody if you cannot seek therapy. Number 4, your failures may feel like they sting more because it's just how the brain works. Negativity somehow, even if it's somebody that leaves like 10 comments that are good positive comment and one person leaves the negative one, sometimes it could affect your mental health. So just know that your failures are literally lessons that you've learned, and no nostalgia can take that away from you. And just try to extend others some grace, and by extending others some grace, try to extend that grace to yourself, and know that you need to actually speak out, tell people what you're feeling in order for them to come through for you. And yeah, all in all, I hope that any situation that causes you, okay, it's time for another video, my watch is literally telling me shut up, it's all right, got it. So I hope this video somehow helps you. Thank you everyone for watching my YouTube channel, and please come back for another one. Bye.